Okay, so let's end this on a high note. As we say before, as we'll say, Loki season 2. Like, I think it was good they dropped this because I think Marvel knew that Secret Invasion was a train wreck, and they
Hmm.
just dropped this towards this, the end of episode 6. And wow, I like really liked the trailer. I wasn't expecting, the news saying that it was going to break tons of views in YouTube. Like I wasn't
Hmm.
expecting that, and so I think right away they got everyone back to liking Marvel a little bit with Loki. I mean, come on, it's Tom Hiddleston.
Right.
Um, and this is a good example. This show has a purpose compared to other Disney Plus shows because it's building into the multiverse saga where Secret Invasion wasn't like, and I think you see that through. We like first off, the production design, that's a big thing. This show is like a bit low compared to Secret Invasion's budget, but it's like the creative team has made the show very iconic with its
Hmm.
production design and like all the circles of like referencing time and loops. It's so cool. And the costume and like all the time periods we see in this trailer was like so gorgeous. Like I'm very impressed about how much it can do. So little money they're giving.
Hmm.
And I think that's one thing I'm very impressed with this show with Loki. What you thought about the trailer too? I thought it was great. I think the music was really neat. What they have here, it was great to see the characters were returning and even new ones. But
Hmm.
what you thought about trailer two?
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. It got me really hyped for what's coming up.
Yeah,
The thing with Loki, like glitching, is going to
yeah,
be an interesting storyline, I think. Yeah, I don't know. The first season was really good, and as long as they have like the same kind of creative force behind this one, I think it could stand to be really good. I also think like the fact that Tom Hiddleston himself is like really involved in the production.
mm,
I don't know.
yeah,
I think there's more passion behind this one than like other Marvel projects, and I think
yeah,
that's going to show.
yeah. I I I agree. I don't know. It's because it's Loki. Everyone loves Loki in the MCU
Hmm.
and in general in the show, and then the movies, of course. Ever, oh my God, 12, 13 years now since he debuted in the first Thor in 2011. Um, yeah, I mean, look at Tom Hiddleston. He still looks young. Like he looks great as his age. He's only 41. Last time I checked, his age. Um, it's very impressive. I agree. I think the show. The show has a purpose. That's the thing. Like
Hmm.
the building up the multiverse thing, and so like it has a near point, but then at the same time, they have probably the best like TV premise in any of the shows I've seen is the multiverse. Like you could do like a lot of those multiverse things, like time travel to time periods, and be very much like a sci-fi thing, you know and
Hmm.
I think it helps that it's all that into one, and you have a great cast too. I mean, like like Owen Wilson, uh, Ki K Kwan is joining the
Hmm.
cast after everything everywhere all at once.
Hmm.
That's great, and people were big. I mean, I was excited to see him. And his back and forth with Owen Wilson was so classic. He's like, "Oh my God, the time slip," and like, "Can you fix it?" And he say, "No." It's so funny. Um, I'm very happy he's going to be in the show. Like we see clips of him, like it particularly puts the take on Morbius, like Morbius spacesuit or whatever in
Hmm.
the trailer. That's really cool, and so I'm very intrigued about where his character is going to place. He's um basically his name is from like a Asgard lore. Um, I should be checking this. It's like he's like a snake that bites. Kind of,
Yeah, the Ouroboros.
yeah, Ouroboros, yeah,
Yeah.
and he has a short name. If you want to say it, it's OB. That's his name.
Hmm.
So that's really cool. So I really like they're still doing that. Like bringing in more of the Asgard kind of mythos into
Well,
sci-fi terms.
yeah, it's actually a Greek thing,
Oh, okay,
but yeah,
oh,
yeah, you got that like old mythology stuff.
okay.
Yeah, it's like a snake that's eating its own tail.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that part. I just knew that part when you're saying the snake bites thing.
Hmm.
But they didn't. I don't think the one of these I saw mentioned it was Greek. So
Okay,
I thought it was
yeah,
part of Loki because Loki turns into a snake, and I thought it was like
no, it's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's a Greek and Egyptian thing,
mm,
but
uh,
the word itself is Greek.
okay. Well, thank goodness you're here to explain that
Yeah,
because I am very surprised they're using that in the show. But it's good because it shows that they're doing more than time travel slash multiverse thing. Um. Oh, I think this week, like, on a on Jonathan Majors, that was a big question. Is like, they couldn't do
yeah,
reshoots, and so
no,
they are showing him in the
yeah,
show.
they
So
have to.
yeah, they have to. So
Um,
um,
yep,
yeah. So
yep,
yeah. So we're getting Kane already, but I am very intrigued about it. Like, if you just like, what is it? The death of the artist or the death of the author? It's like I have to separate it for now, and
yeah,
but I'm intrigued what they're gonna do with Kane. I'm very excited to see the Victor Timely character in the show. So because Rain Slayer is in the trailer too, and it's great to see her in that time period where Victor Timeless is. So I'm very curious what was gonna happen with those two. Like they're gonna fall in love, or what's gonna happen with those two characters? Because everyone remembers back in our podcast, or in general with the history of King. Rain Slayer is the love interest for King, the Conqueror.
right.
So
I
and
don't
she,
know. Well,
it,
I
uh,
I don't know. I'm still thinking about Jonathan Majors. They're gonna have to recast him. Um,
yeah, one day. Yeah, one day.
yeah, he's
Um,
got that trial coming up.
yeah. I
Yeah,
heard it's pushed in September.
yeah, I know it got delayed.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I mean, besides the last report, like I heard that many victims like came forward, but ever since that, it's been really quiet. So again, it's like okay, it seems minor, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see what the trial happens and what's going to be the verdict. That's the whole point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. That was crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
it's bad.
I mean, it is
Um,
bad, but I don't like when we like popularize a trial while it's going on.
no, don't either. But
Yeah, I
from what I've seen of this,
yeah
I think it's worse than.
yeah I mean, again, I'm just having a wait and see. If the
Yeah.
verdict is bad, it's bad. If the verdict says no, it's like okay. I mean, I'm not happy either with the situation, but it's just we can't really do nothing until they make a choice. But it's also Disney and Marvel's choice too. It's like they have to make a choice to recast it.
Yeah, at
So
least I don't know. It's an easy role to recast.
yeah, that's true.
It's easy to explain why he looks different.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully they. I mean, it's easy to recast. It's gonna be tough to cast those three other kings, like from the MN3 post credit scene, because they make a big deal out of those three. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
but no,
Yeah, sure. I mean,
you can figure it out.
yeah. Like I don't like saying this, but like they have to do like a die another day situation where okay, uh this like ethical person or ethnicity person is gonna disguise himself into this white person or another like race slash gender, and it's like we have to go with that. If you haven't seen 93 Day, it's like a Korean villain turns himself into a British socialite in disguise, and it's
Okay.
just yeah, it's really, really like it's this was in 2002. It's the day when we just never question about uh white face you know situations that these Hollywood studios do, which was really bad. So it could happen with Kane here, basically. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I hope not. I hope they say that because the Fantastic Four is coming, maybe we can get like a version of Kane that's related to Reed Richards, and then
Hmm.
that can make you change a little bit. Is that okay? That's something that we didn't reveal is that he's a descendant on one of our superheroes.
Hmm.
But we'll see. Um, I so it seemed like so. The question is, I guess I think we're going to pick up where we left off in episode one because I think the characters we're going to see is going to have no memory of what happened in season one. I That's something we had sort of kind of discussed because I don't know if this Morbius, Morbius, by Owen Wilson will ever remember his journey to Loki from last season. You know,
I think
what do you
it's
think?
gonna be. I think he stumbled into an alternate version of the TVA.
Mm, okay, okay. Yeah, I hope so. I hope we still have that timeline, still the Richard timeline where Loki
Yeah.
came. I mean the branches are already off, so
Right.
it has to happen. The version. Um,
Yeah. I guess we don't know where the TVA exists.
yeah,
Right. So we
or
don't know if it's possible for there to be multiple versions of the TVA.
no, I because it seems like they reset. Like it almost felt like they got reset from what happened to Sylvie killing the Who Remains, and because the branches started to come.
Yeah, the branches started going, but then like I don't know. If the branches split, does that mean that there are like multiple TVAs working in the multiverse, cutting off different branches
Mm,
of the branches? You know.
I I think it's gonna be a different like we're gonna have our TVA,
Right.
but they are doing differently from the ritual TVA we'll see. Because you
Yeah.
remember in the first season there was posters in the background about multiverse, circumcisions and whatnot,
Hmm.
like like almost like PC like programs or announcements that you usually get in schools.
Yep.
And theirs, if you notice it, theirs were very different from the one in season one. So a lot of their methods or like way of doing of protecting the multiverse is different because of what
Hmm.
happened with
Right.
the Who Remains, and especially because Loki, like he uses one of the pumes and like hits it on the wall, and you see the canes behind him.
Right.
So, and I'm like curious that like I think one of the videos I saw, they said they think that maybe the three canes that we saw in Ant-Man 3 kind of has taken over the TVA
Very
because of
possible. Yeah.
like because the Who Remains is no longer running it. So it makes sense that the three Canes that we saw at MM3 is going to take over it because we saw one of the Kane statues like hanging there in that final moment of season one.
Hmm.
So it could happen. So, um, and speaking of Punes, speaking of Rainslayer, it was kind of cool to see she has like a steampunk version of the Pune stick and it's like a
Hmm.
gun. So that was cool. I'm excited to see that. Um, okay, what else? That was kind of cool. The time slip at first, him glitching, Loki.
Hmm.
I thought it was like the Spider Verse glitch from the
Hmm.
Spider Verse,
Yeah.
and it was funny at first. I was like, "Oh my god, we're really connecting the multiverse." But then when OB, talked about it as a time slip, I was like, "Oh, okay." That makes sense. He's like slipping into different times. And
Mhm.
the moment it was funny, he got into the location he stopped was the jump ski location. The the thing that Morbius like. Um, was it ski diving or what do you call this? Skiing or something like that. I'm trying to remember what was uh Morbius' exception.
Jet skis.
Yes, yeah, that was the location that Loki stopped at when he was
Mhm.
time skipping. That was cool that they did that. Then Sylvie, I'm kind of curious where we left in with Sylvie. We see her in three different moments in the trailer. She's in. If you've been paying attention to the behind of the scenes, like she's
Mhm.
working at McDonald's, which is funny, and it is in the '70s. In her name collar that she has in her chest, you see that her name is there, but the stickers that you have that's 5 stars, those are Miss Minutes. I don't know if you caught that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, those are Miss Minutes. So that was really cool. That it could be that where she's at, it could be a version of another timeline, but it's in like in the '70s maybe, whatnot, or like the multiverse is cracking in to some of these things. Um, and then we see her in like a record store, and then like this circle thing is rolling around, and like it's like just skating her area, like it's everything's disappearing. Sort of like the vape that we saw in season 1 of Loki with episode 5, that
Mhm.
cloud creature. So I'm kind of curious, like, is Sylvie remembers her events of last season, or she's running away from the situation? So I'm kind of curious what we're gonna do with Sylvie there. Um, one big thing that I didn't know this because I'm not a big Marvel guy was this character named Senec. Um, this weird character that's like a serial killer in Marvel comics. Um, I so this is where the movie theater scene we see with this actor that Loki captures in the shadows in
Okay.
the trailer. So he's an actor, he's a person from the comics that's playing this serial killer. This movie that's based on this serial killer Marvel character from the comics named Senec. He looks like a green Jekyll Hyde kind of person, very tall and monster, basically.
Hmm.
He's going to be a major factor to this season. I'm kind of curious what we're going to do with it because we see him again when he's actually captured and he's wearing the TBA prison guard and has the collar, and like Loki has him in a like those like orange tubes, like in like a cube basically.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of curious where he's going to play up in this plot. Um, well, any plots that we have to mention? Was there any questions you want to bring up from the trailer that we may be missing?
There was that one shot of Miss Minutes dressed as like a ghost or something.
Oh yeah, when it was before it grows into a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It seems like she's this people or something like that. like
Hmm.
like it's funny.
Yeah. I'm
It's
I'm looking forward to whatever that's about.
yeah. Oh, I think she's there with Victor Timely, aka the Kane from Ant-Man 3. I think
Hmm.
that he's stuck in this timeline and he has Miss Minutes to help him do certain things. And I think because Loki's there, like because we know Loki and Morbius is in that location, probably Miss Minutes is helping to kind of distract the you know those two from whatever future time was at, and so she
Hmm.
has to grow into a monster. Um, I don't know. It was weird, and I like that her animation looks like the 1940s or whatever the Chicago Fair they're at,
Hmm.
or 1920s basically cartoons. If you've seen the black and white cartoons, she's like looking like that, and that's kind of cool detail for doing.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious, and there's where Ray the Slayer is there too with Victor Timely. So I'm kind of curious if we're gonna get more interaction with those two.
Hmm.
Um, what else that we can bring up? Easter eggs. Um, let's see. Character time sleeping. Jet states the jet ski payoff. Yep. Kang teases. Travel to the past. Okay, Marvel's Stanek. That's Caniak. He's a character from the Thor comics, basically. Um, yeah, that's gonna be there. What else? Oh, the um, the Who Remains castle, the
Hmm.
that he is that we see it briefly in the trailer, and it's very like because we see a dead body there. It's
Yep.
the Who Remains dead body. So I'm curious what's gonna happen to that place. That either the three teams is gonna take over that place basically, and like make it into the stadium that we saw in Ant-Man 3.
Hmm.
So I think that could work. That makes sense. Oh, the time stream. We actually see the time stream for the first time.
Hmm.
Because I mentioned how Morbius is wearing a spacesuit. We see like a presentation in the Victor Timely's presentation, and then we see it again in a much bigger scale, which I didn't expect. So I'm kind of curious what that time stream is gonna do. It's gonna be important into the plot of the King Dynasty storyline or not. Oh, I like. I appreciate this. That some of the characters are gonna have different like costumes and maybe variants. We're gonna see like Hunter B15 is back, and I like we were seeing her in different clothing in the season. She's in a doctor's clothes, and then she was in the 1920s segment. So I'm kind of curious how she's gonna play up in this series. Uh, yeah, and I'm checking his notes here. Yeah, the giant redesign in this minutes is a ghostly appearance, like chasing the attendees in the historic fair of Chicago. So
Hmm.
that's what she's dressing. She's basically a ghost to scare up those folks there. Um, yeah, and then Sylvie and Loki renewing again. But yeah, so I think that's really it. Is there anything to say about Loki season 2? I'm excited for it. I'm like happy it's almost October.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, this is probably like it might be the only thing that I'm
yeah,
really like looking forward to, or that I'm feeling confident about
yeah,
coming up. So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Since oh my god, since Guardians Volume 3,
yeah,
if you think about
and
it,
then like looking forward to the rest of
for sure.
Phase 5 and
Oh yeah,
beyond.
makes sense.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic on the certain projects, like that's the thing. But then there's just other projects that, like, I think there's other projects that I'm not confident with. It's because I don't know how they're gonna tie in the saga. Like,
hmm,
like how is Blade is gonna be connected to all this? Like, I'm a little worried about that.
yeah.
Where
And how is it gonna deal with all the like changes it's gone through? Like it's gone through so many
corrections?
pre-production
Yeah,
like
yeah,
problems. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. And like I'm excited for Daredevil, but I'm worried about it.
yeah. Um, I guess Hope Echo is good because that's where we're gonna see Matt and Kingpin.
Yeah, yeah.
I
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm a little worried about because that show apparently I didn't know this until the host that I'm working with told me that it's actually gonna drop the episodes like Netflix does, just
Oh,
all
all at once.
yeah,
Oh,
first
okay.
first
That might
time
mean that they're not confident in it.
maybe I you know I mean you don't know if Disney is trying something new basically because
Yeah,
I mean these weekly things are good, but then at the same time, it does hurt, you know, because like in this Marvel case, she had to go up with Obi-Wan that was going on during that journey,
right.
and I feel like if you drop this off one, in a like in a separate month, it could work. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean we saw this last year with Wednesday. Like Netflix put this in November. Now there was a reason why they did it because that um Ryan Murphy show that Evan Pierce was in, that was a serial killer, like got
Yeah.
got a lot of the talk. So they didn't want it to be sucking the air of this new show, and so they push on Denver. It makes sense. And guess what? Wednesday was a huge hit and got the noticeable attention that
Hmm.
a lot of these episodes was. So I think Disney is doing that. I mean, makes sense. I don't know. We'll see. But I have to agree with you. There's no confidence with that, but we'll see. I have to wait and see. Um, yeah, and then like the stuff I'm excited for is like Thunderbolts and Captain America slash The Incredible Hulk 2, Brave New World. It's really great. I'm excited for that. Mainly because the Incredible Hulk stuff that is Clooney gonna be in a Captain America movie. Strangely, but
Hmm.
whatever. So yeah, I'm excited for those stuff that they're
Yeah. We'll
picking.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. But at least they're picking up stuff from Black Widow and then Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay, that makes sense. So, but yeah, besides Spider Verse, I mean, Marvel, the MCU is, yeah, it's been doing this for 15 years. So of course there's gonna be cracks and all that. So yeah. Any more to say, Will, for Loki season 2? Um, so,
No, just that I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. I think this will be our next podcast. I think if if it gets good reviews and like everyone likes it, I think this will be our next thing. It's in good time. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's the only Marvel thing in March in October because thank goodness Craven moved out of October, so I don't have to see that. So
Uh huh.
yeah, so I'm happy about that. So Loki's the only thing in October, so that's great. Anyway, this it'll be a good time to mention this. To let folks know that will be our not last time, but this is going to be our last regular scheduled podcast, folks. In the channel, we're going to have what do we say, a sabbatical release of our podcast because, fortunately, me and Will are getting very busy in our lives, and so it's going to be hard for us to really schedule our podcast schedules for Mondays as we've been doing in the last half year. But I want to say, before we close this out, I want to say thank you, Will, for being such a good friend for doing this for the last, oh my God, 3.5 years now.
3 years.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, 3 years now. I want to say thank you, buddy, for so much you do for this channel. And it doesn't matter how long it's gonna be for next podcast. I'll be excited to call you again and schedule that, in the near future. And I want to say thank you for your hard work and everything, and being there for me and the difficult times and year I had this year in
Hmm.
2033. So I want to say thank you so much for your hard work.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. No, I always like talking to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Um. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be hilarious. It'll be maybe the next hangout you and I have with John in the house.
Hmm.
We'll watch something goofy, and that'll be our next podcast.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like we did with just what we did with Mitchell's versus the Machine. That was
Yeah.
fun, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah, that was very good. But I just want to thank you, Will, for putting your hard work and talking with me with movies and TV and all that. So I wish it was a different TV show that was better, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, at least we get to talk about Loki
Yeah, that's true.
to end it.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully Echo will do good. Hopefully, if not,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I guess yeah. So Loki will be our next game, and then whenever our schedules are going to be good, next time after Loki, the Marvels is the next thing that we have to get together. It's the next Marvel thing. It's going to be our last Marvel movie for 2023 for now. So whatever. Um, Even that, I'm less confident, but we'll see for the Marvels. But yeah. So, but anyway, so thank you everyone for listening to this amazing Marvel Plus talk. Me, we'll be back in the nearest future to do another podcast, either Marvel Plus or the Android Pop Culture Talk in general. So just for now, enjoy the last three Secret Invasion episodes of the podcast of Marvel Plus Talk that I did with Will, and enjoy this last regular one before we go into our radical podcast schedule. But anyway, have a good week, guys. You guys for August. I can't believe it's August. Have a good day.